Sup, yo?
What up, peeps?
How y'all doing?
Hopefully well.
Yes, hopefully very well.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm making sure you in focus. You look in focus, right?
I guess. Yeah, got a little box over me.
Okay, cool. Here. All right, here we go, y'all. 3, 2, 1.
Ooh, that was a good one.
That was a great one.
And I got some residual.
Okay, residual. Okay, for that residual income. I mean, knuckle crack, whatever. And that residual income.
What up, peeps? Welcome to the Let's Make Out podcast, where we make out all things what?
Love, life, and laughter.
That's right. I'm your host, Gabrielle, also known as Gabe.
And I am your co-host, Chad, also known as Babe. It makes it better. Chad, also known as Babe.
Yes. Yeah. So
Aka Babe. Chad Aka Babe.
Also known as. I feel like we just did this because we did.
We totally did. But it was live though.
We had a live podcast last week that was actually really fun. We did it, was it Friday evening or was it a Saturday evening? I don't remember. It was over the weekend.
Friday or Saturday.
And we had a good time. So shout out to everybody who joined us. We talked about a little bit of everything. A little bit of parenting, a little bit of... I don't even remember. Parenting was what I remember the most, but I know we talked about other stuff. Yeah.
Answers the questions.
Yeah,
I mean, we had a good time. It was fun, and we'll definitely be doing more and figuring out how to make it better because we had a few technical difficulties, but
we want to make it better. So I think we have decided though that we want to do a live episode for our 100th episode, which is coming up.
Which is 5 episodes from now.
In 5 weeks.
Yes.
Crazy.
That's nutso.
Nutso. Something so. 100 episodes later.
You're just so beautiful.
Thanks, love. You want to go ahead and cue the music?
Yeah, let's do it. Y'all ready for this music? Y'all ready for this? All right.
Where did that come from?
I have no clue.
Where did I get that from?
I don't know. It's like a...
Is it from a movie?
Yeah. I think it's like
an
Australian act. Maybe. I don't know.
Not Austin Powers.
All right.
Where did that come from? Oh, right.
Good Scott. All right. I have no clue.
You just have to throw the accent in there?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're watching... Let's address the elephant in the room.
Oral time!
Not the elephant.
Oh, not the elephant.
If you're not watching, you know you could come over and watch us on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Just pull up Let's Make Out Podcast and you'll see our wonderful faces.
That's right.
Get all of the everything.
All of the everything.
Listening to the podcast. You know, expressions and all of that stuff.
All of the everything. Get all of the everything.
So the elephant in the room is what?
The bed couch. It's amazing. I'm just going to sit back, relax.
Okay, you guys. So it came. It finally came.
I'm just going to hold the mic.
And see, this is the issue. Because it is so comfortable.
We just need the longer mic.
I want to,
be able to sit back.
Yeah. I want to relax, but I find myself sitting up because, well, that's how we used to sit. But also, I can't.
And I'm way over here.
Right. Yeah. So I was telling Babe we need to get microphone stands so we can sit back and get comfortable and relax.
Yeah.
So I think I like it. I was skeptical at first just because we went with a completely different, the color is color. You know what I'm saying? It's out there. But I think that it ties in with the new decor very nicely.
You did a great job.
I told you guys I did this company Heavenly to help with the design, and she had picked a lot of dark teal seating that matched the curtains, and I just didn't want it to be so dark in here.
Yeah.
So I came across this one and was like, how would this work? And honestly, it's not bad. It actually matches there in the picture we have over there. It matches parts of the picture. And I think it's nice. It's in the teal family. So, yeah, let us know what you think. I think we've decided to keep it. I was trying to hold off and trying to figure out. The kids love it. They just want to jump on it and do all the things. And I'm like, let me decide if I'm keeping it first, okay? Let me decide. Literally, I still got the tag over here. It came off when I was pulling the plastic off, and I was mad about it.
It's being kept.
Baby's like, no, I like it. Let's keep it.
I'm ripping the box apart tomorrow or today.
We're gonna keep it for real.
Yes, the mug is nice. You know it's nice. If you didn't like it, sweetie, we've already packaged it back up. Just so you know.
You're right.
I know you well enough to know.
Right.
You'd be like, don't like it. Put it back.
I like it because it's different.
Me too.
I think that,
the style of it's
safe
really nice.
answer would have been or the safe route would have been for us to go with like cream, or you know what I'm saying, something like basic. But it's different. Find a rug. That's the last piece to this room. The rug, and change out the lighting.
Yeah, change out the light.
Put the chandelier up. But
other than that, like it's nice.
It's comfy. I'm ready to. I know this is. I'm ready to actually like sit down on here and watch a show together.
So we're gonna do that tonight. We didn't get to. Well, we won't do it tonight. Probably won't tonight.
Oh, because it's Taco Tuesday.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. We will do that tomorrow.
Yeah,
night.
because we didn't get to last night.
We can literally sit on opposite sides with our feet straight out, not touching each other.
Exactly.
Like that's how spacious.
Now she can't do that without touching me, but we can.
See, like these kids done got a stain on it already.
Girl, whatever.
Well, it's that material though. You can kind of like brush out.
Yeah, it's really So it's nice. We love it. It's comfy. It's a lot more comfortable than that thing.
Than our bench. So our bench is over here on the side.
So when we order the mic stands, we'll be able to sit back and just relax. And just have a conversation with y'all.
You know what I'm saying? We can like face each other and like, you know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I'm excited about it.
Yes.
So now I'm going to order us some mic stands.
So thank you for finding this.
Stands? No. They didn't come with mic stands?
No. Thank you for finding this, sweetie, because you found this.
I did. I searched and searched on Overstock. And I got it on sale too. So I mean, the delivery was about 4 weeks.
It was, but that's all right.
Yeah,
we made do. It's definitely worth it.
So anyway, that was the elephant in the room.
That's the elephant in the room. What else is going on? Jinx, Gabrielle.
We didn't say the same thing.
You said what else would be going on? We said that part the same.
Whatever.
That's all right. Unjinxed you.
What else has been going on since the 2-3 days since we talked to y'all? Nothing
much. Oh, I did my first swim of the season.
Oh, you did?
My training.
Yeah.
And that was good. So I have a coach. I actually have a triathlon coach. I'm going full on this year, like where, not trying to do it on my own, trying to, I want to have some structure and because I want to do well. So having a coach I think is important because, they're going to have me train in a way where I don't get injured, but I also build the muscles and the strength and the endurance that I need for the race.
Yeah.
So, because the problem is what I realize is that a lot of times, for me especially, is that I train, whenever you go out for like a run, if it's supposed to be an easy run, and you go out and you run 8-minute miles, and you come back and you're spent, that's not an easy run.
Yeah.
So if you train like that over and over and over and over and over and over, and you never do anything easy, you're not building your aerobic base, and then you're also going to put yourself, at risk of injury. So my coach is going to, say, this is the pace I want you to do. This is the, and we're going to ease into it. So I did my first swim yesterday. I did a total of 2,300 meters, which is like 1.4 miles or so ish, somewhere in there. 1.2 miles is 2,000 meters. So it's a little more than that.
What you said? Did you tell me that was like 12 back and forth?
300 meters is 12 back and forth of a 25 meter pool.
Yeah.
So so but it went really well. I mean, like I did different types. I even used a swim buoy where you put it between your legs and you hold it there, so you can't use your feet at all. You're using your arms. And it allows your feet to float that way because you need your upper body strength to be really good for swimming.
I mean, but don't you need both?
But you want to save your legs for the bike and the run.
True.
So learning how to be really strong with your stroke is going to be.
But that won't cause like a hinder. I mean, like you won't get used to having the buoy because you can't do that.
No, exactly. Oh, okay. But I have a wetsuit on. Both of my races this year, I should be wetsuit legal.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to test my wetsuit for the half Ironman and then for the full. So I'm excited. It's going good. The first swim was great. Yeah. I actually did my 1.2 miles in like 46 minutes. I mean, granted, there was some breaks in there because I was switching to different styles. Good. But overall, it was 46 minutes for that 1.2 miles, whereas that's 15-minute PR for my 1.2 miles. So that's exciting. I'm just super excited. I'm gonna ride today for the first time.
Yeah. You got your trainer all set up.
Trainer's set up. So
how much do you think of your rides will you do on the trainer versus outside?
I'll probably do half, probably 50-50. Okay. So probably 2 trainer rides per week.
So the trainer is this thing that it sits on that
And I'll pull up this video game. Basically, it's called Zwift, and you hook up the sensors on your bike, and you have an avatar, and you can like ride and kind of just
race other people. Or
you can do full on races. They have Zwift races all over the world right now.
Pretty cool.
But you can ride in Paris. You can pick a map to ride on. You know, so so it's pretty cool. It makes it a little bit less boring. But half of my rides will probably be on the trainer so that I can do structured workouts.
Yeah.
And then half of the rides will be outside where he just wants me to get miles. Where he'll just say, go ride for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And try to keep it in this pace, but just ride.
Yeah. Because you got to just get used to the miles.
Get used to just riding because, I mean, you know.
That's a long time.
Yeah, I mean, my goal is a 6.5 hour ride or less for the Ironman.
Woo! Could you imagine riding a bike for 6.5 hours?
Most I've ever rode a bike was probably 4 hours.
What? The most I ever rode on a bike was like an hour. You remember we did that bike ride on the Mona?
Yeah.
We went far.
We did far. We're going to do it again this year.
We are. We're going to do it with the family because Reagan has a bike now. She actually knows how to,
my goodness,
to pedal the bike. Like, so the last time we were walking outside with the little bike, it was like a tricycle
and she just
with a handle. So we would like push and she wouldn't really.
But at school, though, I walked in the other day and was to pick her up, and she was just there on a bike riding, and I was like, let me see you ride that. And she rode around, steered around me. She went around me. I'm like,
girl, it's a tricycle too.
It's a tricycle, but she knows how to pedal now. And she understands that she has the power to do it now.
Yeah, so we bought her a bigger bike with training wheels.
So I'll put that together for her, and then so we're super excited about that. We've got a new trail that's opening up relatively close to us.
So that's gonna be nice.
Yeah, but that's really been about it since we talked to you last time. I feel like.
Oh, yesterday, I had class. I haven't really talked about this, but it's so funny. I asked my peeps on Instagram. I told them I was going to a class, and I asked like people's suggestions, or not suggestions, but guesses on what they thought I was going to class for. And literally, I think like when I looked yesterday, it was only like 2 people who said what the class was. Everyone else assumed it was something fitness related.
That's funny.
And I was like, really? I don't know. I don't know what the results are today because I haven't looked at them. But I am taking an acting class. And I'm excited about it. It's just like a 6-week class. I've been like going back and forth about getting back into like taking acting classes, just working on my craft and seeing what I want to do with it. And a friend of mine, she had posted about it on her Instagram, and I was like, oh, because I have been looking for classes locally. So I found it, and we had week 2 yesterday, and it was cool. Like everybody is real chill. It's like 8 of us in the class.
She's broke 2 legs, 2 classes, 2 legs.
So, yeah, it was good. It felt good to do something else, I guess, you know, like just something different from what I'm
proud of her for doing. I'm proud of you for doing it because she's always been talking about she wanted to.
Yeah, I've been debating on it for a really, really long time.
She finally just pulled the trigger and she did it. And I'm just proud of you because, you know, it's not about, you know, what happens from it. It's about the process of enjoying, like, just, you know, if you're enjoying it and you want to hone something that you want to do more, you know, then put some time into it, right? And you're doing that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I realized is that I work a lot. A lot of what I do is because I have to do it. I mean, it's my job. You know what I'm saying? Like influencing, making videos. I love making videos, don't get me wrong. That's probably like the easiest thing that I'm doing.
Also a requirement, though.
But it is become a requirement. So everything I'm doing, it's like, okay, I'm making content, or I'm fitness coaching, nutrition coaching, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what is it that I actually do that's not tied to income?
Just for you.
That's just fun for me and an outlet for me. And so far, I mean, it's only 2 weeks in, but I'm having a good time. So I'm kind of sad because it's only 6 weeks, because now I'm like, now I gotta find another acting class, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's a good way to push me out there and do it for so long. For so long, I've just been talking about it, like, oh, I don't have the time. Oh, I don't want to do it. But it's like we make time for the things that are important for us. And I feel like having something that's not tied to income is important for me, to have like a hobby or have something that I can enjoy doing.
Man, I think that's important for everybody. Like if you're not finding something that you love doing that is not tied to your bank account, then you're missing out. Like triathlon for me is something that I love to do. I really love triathlon, and I can see myself coaching one day, like really. But I'm not there's no tie to anything for money for me. Like, sure, I would love to earn my pro card one day, because in triathlon you can earn your pro card based on your performance, not necessarily your age.
Yeah.
But the chances of winning a ton of money in triathlon is not there, and that doesn't matter to me. Like, to me, it's just like finishing strong. I enjoy it. It's a challenge, and that's the way for acting for you. Like, it's something that it's
a muscle that I haven't exercised in so
that
long.
you want to explore more.
Yeah. So it's nice to just get back into it. Yeah. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. We'll keep you posted on how.
Definitely. Well, speaking of doing things that, you love to do, that's not tied to something, because I think that's important, because it allows you to maybe, relieve stress and not be stressed while you're doing this thing, right?
Like,
it might be,
especially if there's no expectation.
Yeah, you might be nervous. Right? But you're not stressed, because you're not like, oh, I got to get this right, because I got to pay this bill. Like, it's just literally doing it.
Yep.
And I think that's important, and that's where our next sponsor comes in, because Bulldog Yoga, we've told you about them before, but that's kind of, what they're trying to do. They're trying to give you a way to kind of, separate yourself from like work and the stresses of life and, family budgets, and then obviously everything that's been going on this year and the past year with everything, and I'm not going to mention, and so I'm sure you've heard of yoga. I'm sure you've heard of the benefits. If you haven't, increased strength, better flexibility, improved mental focus, and a ton more are benefits that people say that they get when they do yoga. And if you're like most people, trying yoga is, maybe a want, or you're like, well, but I don't know how to do it, or it looks too intimidating. And that's where where Bulldog Yoga Online comes in. They want to take the intimidation out of yoga and replace it with music, smiles, and no judgment. So they want you to know that Bulldog Online is fun. Like, they make yoga fun. And so basically with Bulldog Yoga, they have a streaming online classes that are available on demand, anytime, any place, and on your schedule. Bulldog even offers classes for kids and teens, so you can get your Bulldog on and get moving with the entire family. They're easy to follow, a set to great playlists meant to motivate and keep you and your family smiling throughout the movement. And there are choices for all levels, including, from beginner classes to heart-pumping workouts. And then the coolest thing is there's tons of class length options to fit your schedule. So the classes range anywhere from 12 to 60 minutes. So you can get a quick class or you can get a long class in. And really cool platform, really easy to use, and I think you would enjoy. So you should check it out, and you can by going to bulldogonline.com, and you can use the code LMO for an additional 50% off your first paid month. So again, try your first 30 days for free at bulldogonline.com. Use the code LMO for an additional 50% off your first paid month. And so the coupon code is LMO. Make sure you get that. And bulldogonline.com. So check it out and let us know what you think.
Let us know what you think.
Absolutely.
All right.
Call for you.
Thank you. Can we talk about the fact that it's like 40 degrees today? What is going on with the weather? It's supposed to be like ridiculous. A freeze warning tonight.
It's so ridiculous.
I'm sorry. What happened? What happened to April showers? Can we just get the rain we're supposed to get so we can get to the sunshine?
It's ridiculous. It just doesn't make sense.
I know. It's like we had such like a couple of good weeks, and
it
then
just doesn't make sense.
It just reminds you that you're in the Midwest.
Yeah,
so
you're in Indiana.
Don't get too comfortable.
But yeah. So
all right, let's do some questions. You want to do some book questions?
Yes.
We haven't done this 1,001.
Let's do that one.
We have. I don't know.
Is that the one we just did?
We did the 4,000 one on the last.
Oh, that's right.
So this one is actually numbered. So pick a number between 1 and 1,000.
365.
365.
365. Yeah, she fine. I know it's
369.
I know, but I was doing my number though. Get low.
How many foreign countries have you visited? Which one stands out in your memory?
How many foreign countries have I visited? Jeez.
Do you know?
Let's see.
Think about it. How many have I visited? It ain't been that many.
So, boom, boom, boom.
You should say them out loud.
I mean, jeez. Okay, I'm trying to start from the beginning. Foreign countries. Let's go with.
Don't block your face.
Oh yeah, don't block my face. Let's go with. First would be Kuwait, Iraq. Trying to think. So it'd be Germany, Kuwait, Iraq. And then this is difficult. Just trying to think. And then let's go with Afghanistan, Qatar, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Amsterdam, United Kingdom. I mean, I was in the airport for like 10 hours, so I guess that counts, right? France, or Paris, Italy. So I feel like there's more. Jamaica, yes, Dominican Republic, Mexico, so Cancun. And I'm sure there's a few more, but that's mine right now. Canada, yeah, Canada. I feel like there's
That's
probably.
about it.
I feel like
that you can think of.
Yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Yeah. Well, look at you,
How many is
Mr.
that?
Passport. That was
15.
That was 15. I was like, yeah, 5 to 15.
You're so cute.
That was 15.
15.
Look at you. Okay. Okay, so I've only been to Canada, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Italy, France, and I feel like that's it.
You said Mexico?
Oh, did I say Mexico? I might not have said Mexico. I have been to Mexico.
So 5 or 6.
So 6. 6 for me.
Okay.
I'm working on it. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
I'm trying to get there.
That's right. We can go to a new one for our anniversary.
Yes, I'm so excited about our anniversary
Yes.
trip. So excited. I'm so
Yes.
excited.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to go with 782.
782. Look at that. Second turn. When was the last time your heart was in your throat? Describe the situation.
Honestly, it just happened this weekend. I actually talked about this on my Instagram today. I just posted it right before we started. I got a text from a neighbor that Chad Jr. was engaging in activity he had no business engaging in. And I just... Like, nobody wants to get that text. First of all,
Nothing dangerous.
Nothing dangerous,
Yeah,
thank
just,
goodness. Like, kid stuff. But stuff that he shouldn't be doing. And it just, I don't know, it's just that feeling like of one, he knows better. 2, slight embarrassment because a neighbor had to let me know that he was doing something he shouldn't have been doing. And it's just like, now I got to have this conversation with him about what all of this means. And, it's not just, right from wrong. It's not just peer pressure. It's also the fact that we are one of 2 black families, well, half black families on the street, and the neighbor that texted me, she's a black lady. She lives right across from us. We're the only 2 on the street.
Yeah.
And it's just like having that conversation with him about... You cannot get away with the same things that your white friends can get away with. And what if this would have happened on somebody else's street? These people know you on our street. But what if you were somewhere else in the subdivision and they don't know you? You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, the little girl, I said if the cops showed up, 9 times out of 10, the little girl would be taken home and you would be punished. Whether she talked you into it or not. Like, they don't want to hear that.
Exactly.
So it was just this whole conversation that I didn't know how to have it. I'm like, is he really going to understand this? And I don't know how much he understood, but I'm glad that I at least mentioned it so that we can build on this conversation because... I'm telling y'all, this whole parenting is something else. And, if you were on the live, we talked about it. But it's just like what I wanted to make sure that I'm doing is equipping them with the knowledge of how the world is, but also not to live in the world, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that he's protected. I believe that God, like, I don't want him growing up with biases
or fear
and you know what I'm saying, just because like I can't do anything wrong, I can't, I don't want him to have that, but I also want him to be at least aware of what it could be. And I know every time I talk about this, I'm met with a certain amount of friction, because it's like, he white, he gonna look white, he don't look, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, put him up against a white kid any day and you'd be able to tell he's not white. Like,
but also for the people that say that, that's your opinion,
that's your colorism coming through. Exactly. What difference does it make? Like, we all know how we look at biracial kids. Exactly. We all know. So, you know what I'm saying? So
as a matter of fact, there's a dude that works at the Chick-fil-A right up the street that is like literally looks like his skin complexion and hair type is dead on exact to Chad Jr. And I've met him a few times at the gym. I don't, we didn't have like a long conversation. But I had a quick little conversation with him because he saw us together one time, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm, that he's like, you guys remind me of my parents. Mm-hmm. He's like a manager at the Chick-fil-A, but like so for me, is I see him as a black man, like I can see it. Yeah. So if you choose just to really just to say, look at him because he's light hair and all of a sudden you're like, oh, he's gonna look white, then it's an ignorant statement. So whatever, but it is what it is.
I mean, it is
not your job to parent him. It's ours.
And in no way am I trying to say that he won't have a certain amount of privilege because of the way he looks. Like, I get it. It's like a two-edged sword. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a win-win here. It's like a lose-lose. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you black, but you probably won't be black enough for some people. You'll never be white enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really interesting when we get into this parenting thing. And I'm like, we are literally just getting started. Yeah. And I don't know. It's my prayer is that I'm doing it right, that we're doing it right, that we make the right choices, but we've never experienced any of this before. Yeah. So
I think that's that's with every parent, hopefully with every parent, that you want the best, you're trying to do your best, and you have to handle situations. Sometimes you have to handle situations when they come, because you can't prepare your child for every situation, right? This one yesterday the other day was completely
out of the blue.
Out of the blue. And again, it was harmless. It didn't.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything like horrible.
But it's still important to have. So I had the conversation because I was home. So I had the conversation with him. Made him go apologize to one. I didn't realize there was two at the time. So, but yeah. So I made him apologize, and we talked about basically what this means and why it's not good to do, and also why him being biracial is that he can be judged in a different way, he can be looked at in a different way if he's not already. And because you never know people's intentions or people's opinions, until you just don't right
rear their ugly head.
Exactly. So it was really good. We had attacked it from both sides. I hit it, and then she got home. She was able to talk to him, and I
hated that I wasn't here, so he had to go through the conversation twice. But
it's okay.
Yeah, we both offer different perspective as well.
Exactly. I think that's okay, because now he understands from both our side, and it's a team effort, and to have that conversation with him, and I think we're better off for it. But absolutely. But yeah, I knew when Gabrielle called. She was like,
I was angry. I was so angry. Seriously.
And I wasn't. I guess me and her. That's why we're a good mix. I wasn't angry.
It probably was good that I wasn't here.
Yeah.
That I had time to process it.
Yeah, I wasn't angry because literally he's a kid. He's a kid. Kids, they just try things, and they're and so I was able to have. He was still punished when for me, but I just am more. I'm more of the calmer person in the relationship, anyways. So it probably was good that it was set up for me, anyways, because he knew it was wrong before Mama even got home, so that when she came to him, it wasn't such a bam, But
I mean, and I was calm about.
No, she was good. She's great at conversing with the kids. So
So that was the last time.
Yeah.
That was a good question.
That was good.
You want to do another one?
Yeah, let's do... Oh, yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah, you tell me.
Let's go with 602.
602. Just imagine category?
Just imagine.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Viewpoints. Uh-oh. No, not even. Hard hitting.
Okay.
What do you live in denial about?
That I'm more than enough. Like, just... Like, I don't think that there's desires that God puts in my heart, or, you know, like, but, you know, but there's still times where I'm doubting, you know, if I'm doing enough as a husband, if I'm doing enough as a father, if I'm doing enough as a provider. Definitely am I doing enough for God's kingdom? Like, that's a big one, you know, because I always hear this, you know, Pastor Chad, or, you know, that comes up so much from people. And I mean, I don't accept that, because that's such a big, I automatically push it away, because that's such a big, big thing. Pastoring people is a huge responsibility, and it's just not a title to be thrown on your name. Some people just will throw it on their name and be cool with it, but that's not me. And I want to make sure that I understand fully what that means, if that was ever to be the case. Like, but just in general, I'm just, even the triathlon training, just in general, just thinking that I'm not enough because I'm having a bad day, or because I didn't get something right, so all of a sudden I'm not good enough. I'm a failure, or I'm not, it's just, so it's a mixture of things, of just, for me, it's like trying to be better. I want to be the best I can be in all avenues of life, and sometimes it's very easy to knock yourself down, absolutely, and say that that you're not enough. You're not going to be able to do it, or what are you trying for? It's a struggle. It's an everyday struggle of trying to be better. So I would say that, I think I'm in denial that I do have the capabilities, or else God wouldn't allow me to be able to do all these things. True.
That's a good one.
So I think that's, that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. That's a good one.
What you thinking?
452. 452.
All right. If you had the ability to compete in the Olympics, what event would you want to be in?
I feel like we've answered that.
Okay.
652.
652. You just want a hard hitting.
Oh, that is that category.
What's the closest you've come to having an epiphany? That one time when I ate a bad hot dog in New York, and that's fine.
I don't like that one. Do 653.
What would make you totally content right now?
I wish I had the answer for that. I don't know. And honestly, I feel like I've been on this contentment journey here lately. How to be fully present in what is going on, what I have, what I don't have, just being present in now, as opposed to always looking to what I don't have. What is the next thing? Or, man, when I get this, it's going to be great. And it's just like, well, what about now? And now is great, but honestly, like it's really difficult. It's been really difficult for me this past, I'd say like month or two. Like I've just been in a space where I've just been restless and, just bombarded with what everyone else is doing, so much so that I can't really focus on what I'm doing or what it is I even want to do. So it is a journey where I'm trying to get to being content. It's funny, I had this conversation with my therapist where she asked me when was the last time I actually felt content. And believe it or not, it's crazy. It was like 2017 to like 2018, maybe over into 19. Like those 2 years I think were like great. Not that 2020 wasn't great or that 2021 isn't great, but like for so long we wanted a second child, and for so long I longed to have a girl and get pregnant and blah blah blah. So in 2017 we got pregnant, and it was great. Like I didn't want for anything, like it was just perfect. And then she came in 2018, and 2019 was amazing. We did a whole lot of traveling. Like those like 3 years were like perfect in my eyes. And I'm not saying that's to say that 2020 was not perfect, because I mean, well, 2020 was its own freaking, you know what I'm saying? Like it had its own
set of challenges.
Its own set of challenges. But I don't know, like I feel like at that point I wasn't looking for what was next, if that makes sense. So now I kind of feel like I'm in that restless what is next phase, even though I don't even know what it is I'm wanting for. If that makes sense, it's a weird space to be in. Well, it's like,
that
why
means,
are you not happy with what you have right here? Like
that means you're wrestling with, like contentment and being content and trying to figure out what, and that's why it's important that you went and did this acting class, because it was a want. Yeah. Right.
It was. Yeah.
It wasn't a need. It was a want.
Yeah. To
experience,
be different. Yeah, different for me.
So that's why it's important, because those things are going to allow you to be help you to be content. When you can find things that you want to do, that you enjoy doing, I think that's so. It's not that what we do that we don't like doing it. It's about learning how to, like, because part of it is obviously it's a job. It's a business that we've created, and so part of it becomes almost like a work requirement. Like you got to do it.
Right.
So but we've got to figure out how to be content, and enjoy other things outside of. Yeah, it's really difficult to. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's just like a lot of the the discontentment comes from vanity metrics, things that don't matter. Oh, I don't feel like I'm growing, or oh, I'm da-da-da-da-da. If God never ever gave me another follower, another subscriber, another anything, look at what he's blessed me with.
Ain't that a word?
Literally. The people that support us, you guys, you're irreplaceable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I want to make sure I am grateful for you and content and happy with you, because for one, God ain't gonna give you more if he can't trust you with what he's already given you. So it's like, I have to keep reminding myself that, like, why do, like, what is the thing that I'm searching for? Like, what is it that I'm really reaching for? Because even if I got that imaginary number,
it's not going to bring happiness.
It's not going to make me happy.
Because then you're going to have a new imaginary number above that.
There's another goal, and there's another goal. And I'm not saying don't have the goals. Have the goals. Absolutely.
But don't have so much tied to those goals.
Right. Learn to be content and happy with what you have.
Don't tie your happiness to the numbers.
Don't tie your happiness to anything. Whether you're waiting to get married, whether you're waiting to have kids, whether you're waiting to blow up on social media, whatever it is, like whether you're waiting to lose the weight, don't tie your happiness to that, because what's the point? Like, and the thing is, it's like I'm chasing after happiness when I really need joy, the joy of the Lord that will keep me content no matter what the circumstance is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this, I think it's really like a spiritual journey. I think that I'm on,
I think we're both,
because I'm searching for the wrong things to give me that feeling, and I think I'm going to keep hitting this wall until I am literally like surrender, like, okay, God,
it's building,
like really, like I'm searching for this in everything but you. So that's kind of.
You tell me he wasn't in that pair of shoes?
Right. You mean tell me he wasn't in me paying off that
new wallet I bought? He wasn't in the new wallet?
Yeah. And so it's a journey that I've been on for the past, like, at least couple of months.
And I think
it's probably even, I think maybe the top of this year. It's just like, I don't need another thing. I don't need another accomplishment or something to check off the list. Like, God has given me so much already. Like, am I being a good steward of what he's given me? Or am I throwing it to the side looking for something else? So
I think that's the biggest thing too for me too. I think we're both on that. We know that we've been on most of you know that we're on a debt-free journey, and we've got Gabriel's student loan is the last one we've got of our debt snowball outside of our house, but we have a super low interest rate on our house, so we're very happy with that. But the last debt, outside of the house is Gabriel's student loan. So we've been tackling those. We're very proud of that. And what we've tied to that is not a feeling of happiness, but a feeling of freedom.
I have.
You've tied a bit of happiness, and I keep telling her, that happiness is not going to come from paying that student loan off.
Not.
But freedom, the feeling of being free, from that debt or from the debts that we have will come, right? But the happiness. So I always tell her that. I always tell her that, sweetheart. I used to tell her about the numbers when she was into the numbers so much on YouTube. I was like, sweetheart, the numbers are not. You're just going to look for the next number.
Right.
Like I know you well enough.
Talk about this all the time. She was like, you really think that when you get these student loans paid off, you're not going to worry about money no more. She was like, trust me, you'll have something else. And she's right. I mean, it's difficult to not have that next thing, or you want to go, well, what's the next thing I got to do, or what's the next thing?
And that's a goal. Goals are good, but when you tie it, like you said, to the happiness, that's when it becomes unhealthy.
Yeah, like what? I mean, I should be happy right now. Sure, I've got the student loan debt. Who don't have the student loan debt? But I got the money to pay it.
Imagine,
I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like I should be happy in that. Some people may not have the money to make the student loan payments that I can make right now. So it's all about perspective too, how you're looking at things. But
imagine if I tied my happiness to crossing the Ironman.
Right. And you would just be unhappy until that happened.
But that one, but then what if I get injured the week before and I can't do it? God forbid that happens, but it's God forbid that happens, but way to have it, and I can't do the race at all.
Yeah.
Imagine how crushed. I would be crushed anyways,
right? Because
it's a goal of mine. But imagine if I had all my happiness tied to that,
right?
Then it could be crushed just like that. When, again, like Gabriel said, the joy is the joy and the peace of God in our lives is what we have always counted on, but what we need to make sure that we hone and get closer to.
Yeah.
And to really fully lean on. And that's what this journey of 2021 is going to be for both of us. Together.
Sorry, it's the alarm because it's getting close to time for Siege.
Yeah. Together and individually, right? Because we both have to have our journey with the Lord separately, but we need to have our journey together and then with our kids as well. And so, so that's a good one. I really agree with you. I'm 100% with you as trying to figure out how, God has always been number one in our lives, in our marriage, but that doesn't mean that we're focusing enough on Him.
Right.
And we want to address that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that you put that perfectly.
No, you put that perfectly.
Well, you put that perfectly.
Well, you know what I'm about to put perfectly is this next sponsor. So, Gabriel actually mentioned about having, IVF and having Reagan, so this next brand has a little bit of a tie there. Yeah, so the next sponsor is called Cubo AI. Okay, so what is Cubo AI? So it has like an adorable bird design. It is the first smart baby monitor to apply AI, artificial intelligence, detection to baby sleep, safety, and memories. So why was Cubo AI created? So it's a result of an IVF mom who couldn't sleep, wondering if her baby was breathing. We've all had that fear. If you had a baby, you've all feared. You've listened. I've literally leaned into both my kids and had my ear like this close to their mouth to make sure that I could feel their breath.
Absolutely.
Many times. All that was made worse when she found her infant son with a bib over his face in the crib. It dawned on her that as a tech parent, that there was nothing out there to help her, to help parents out there.
Yeah.
So because the question she was saying, what if she was asleep and something happened? What if there was no sound to alert her of her child's impending danger? So all those questions that I'm sure all of us have faced as parents. Exactly. So she teamed up with her pediatrician, Dr. Yee, and a team of tech parents to make a change. So years later, the mom of two, Joanna Lynn is her name, She is the co-founder and CMO of Cubo AI Smart Baby Monitor, helping parents around the world keep their babies safe and sleep better at night, all while capturing the memories of these precious years. So some of the main features: safety alerts, so like covered face and rollover alerts, so it'll actually be sent to parents when their baby's face is covered or they roll over. You can turn it off, but it's, if you're worried about that, very helpful. Crying, danger zones, 1080p HD video, so definitely able to see what you're wanting to see. Sleep is another one, so it analyzes the sleep. Pretty cool. Memories, like I mentioned memories a couple times, so it does photo and video capture, family sharing up to 8 accounts.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then there's 3 stand options, for depending on what your kid, whether they're in a crib, bed, whatever. So and then so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But so pretty cool. But basically, we want you to check it out if you're interested, or if you know somebody that needs, a monitor like this. Yeah, quality monitor like this.
I wish we would have had one like this.
Exactly. So basically, you can go to GetCubo, so that's CUBO.com, and use our code LMO for a discount off your order. So you should definitely check it out. Again, that's GetCubo.com. Use the code LMO and you can get a discount. So thanks to Cubo AI for sponsoring this episode. We appreciate it.
Yes. All right. So do we have an Ask Gabe and Babe?
We do.
Okay. Advice on starting up your own business. Hey, Gabrielle and Chad. Hey, my name is Renita. I hope that I'm saying it right. I've been a huge fan of you guys for the last several years. I started watching you guys in college. I'm really impressed with how you have been able to build an incredible business and essentially have freedom to work for yourselves. I am a speech language pathologist and currently work 2 jobs. I have considered trying to have my own business pertaining to my field in the future, but I'm a little nervous about it. What advice would you give someone who is considering trying to create a business on their own? I know this question may be broad, but what are some things to consider when you would like to work for yourself one day? I really want to step out on faith to see what could come out of it, but just a little nervous. Any feedback would be greatly appreciated. Thank you. All right. Thank you for
absolutely good question.
That in. That's a great question. Okay. So like from starting, what are some like key things you would say to think about before stepping out and making that?
So out of experience, I would remove the idea of needing to figure out like a cool logo and like the most amazing website, like just like take away some of the stressors of like needing it to be perfect. Like come up with what you maybe want the name to be, maybe like a simple design of like the logo, like get those little things that because you need for, obviously you want to be able to tell about your business, right? But really the biggest and most important thing I think is what is it that what problem are you going to be solving, right? Like what do you feel like you're giving to your future clients, like what and why, and like along with that, like why should they who you are, what you can provide, and then why they should work with you, right? Because there's competitions in all fields, right? We for us, we think that our audience enjoys the fact that we put out positive loving content. We stay away from drama or topics that are not love, life, and laughter. That's kind of our theme, if that makes sense. So I think that I think for you with your brand, like what are you wanting to provide, and how are you going to provide it? Like I don't know, like does that make sense what I'm saying? Like I think
so. I was kind of listening, kind of not.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
You're so
I was trying to find it. I was rereading it and I couldn't find it. So.
But yeah, basically, what who you are, what you're providing, and why people should use your service over your competitors. I think then then pricing structure. I mean, obviously you're trying to create a business, right? So maybe pricing structure, an easy Shopify website. I mean, not Shopify, but
she's a speech pathologist, or is it? She says
not Shopify, but an easy little landing page, something simple, some business cards. I think I think.
Well, I think before you get into all of that, these are good, but I think if it's something that you're currently doing and you want to have your own path or your own business doing the same thing you're currently doing, is there a way to offer what you're doing freelanced or part-time, you know what I'm saying, to kind of build up a bit of clientele, because I don't know much about language pathology and how that works, but it's like, what can you do in addition to what you're already doing to kind of lay the foundation? Maybe you can have a couple of clients before you feel comfortable stepping out completely, to just kind of test the waters and see how that's going. I don't ever,
especially if it's not a conflict with, if you're with your current job, right?
Right. If it, you definitely want to make sure that it's not a conflict. Don't take the clients from the office or whatnot. Yeah, exactly. But you know what I'm saying? Cause I definitely feel like, and here's the thing also, entrepreneurship gets glorified all the time on social media. Everybody want to be their own boss. Everybody want to work for themselves, which is great. But it also is a complete shift from being at a 9-to-5. Realize that your timing, you don't get to clock off. You don't get to, you know what I'm saying? There are a lot of things that people don't think about when they think about entrepreneurship. Yeah. But I also just feel like for anybody who wants to start anything, start where you can first before taking the leap of not having anything. You know what I'm saying? You kind of got to know that it's going to work for you, or that something can happen before you just completely I'm gonna quit and just do this on my own. But you don't have no clientele, you don't even know where to start. So lay the foundation now while you have the job, and then just slowly ease yourself out of it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how much you can do, I don't know the profession enough to know how much you can do with your job without it becoming a conflict of interest. But I think that you definitely have to start there. What can you get clientele on your own? And can you do that part-time? Can you do that for a while until you feel like, you know what? This is something that I can handle on my own, and what does that look like? So use the time that you're at your 9-to-5 job to fuel whatever else it is that you want to do. Sometimes it starts as a side hustle and then it grows. Sometimes it grows enough to where it replaces your main, and then you may feel more comfortable taking the leap of faith. You know what, I got this. But you got to start doing it part-time somewhere. So you say you have another job, so that might be something too to look at. Is this second job helping me to get one step closer to doing this on my own, or is it taking away time that I actually need to put towards working on the business that I want to do? You know what I'm saying? So you kind of have to weigh those options, because I get it, most people work second jobs because they want the extra money. So it's kind of it may be where you might have to make a little sacrifice. Do I really need this extra money working this job that's not helping me, or do I want to kind of buckle down and use this extra time where I would be working another job to work on my business and what it is that I want to do? Because, entrepreneurship ain't for the faint of heart. The freedom is there, but, it's a lot more you got to keep up with. You got to have your own insurance you got to pay for. It's just a whole lot that goes into working for yourself. Are there freelancing gigs as a language pathologist that you could do that's not in conflict? So maybe you build up enough freelance that you feel comfortable doing that, because I imagine that would come with a certain amount of flexibility, and then you can transition into opening your own practice or doing your own thing. So,
I would say I agree with all of that. That's all good. Just I definitely I think that there are times to take leaps of faith, and I think there's times to, do it in a way that where you have the best right now. I think the best opportunity, whereas you have a job, that you're doing, and then you have this goal over here. You have this, this dream of creating this business, and you have the time to really structure it however you think it would look best for you, to start growing it piece by piece, so that when you are able to go out full time on your own, you've already built the foundation of it, right? It's still a leap of faith, because God has to, if you're a believer in God, then you know that He is in everything.
Yeah.
Right. So, but it's a less nerve-wracking leap of faith, right? It's a more comfortable,
some type of a foundation,
because you've already built a foundation. You've already maybe built some clients. You have some people that know who you are and what you do, right? So I think that you have that opportunity. So I think that if you want to start doing it, then start doing what Gabrielle said. Just start building it slowly. Start building out what it is, who you are. Get the word out. Start talking to people. Again, as long as this isn't a conflict with your current job. If it's a conflict with your current job, then
that's something.
Something a little bit different, and you're gonna have to, figure out
work around.
There's a
workaround for everything.
Yeah, because I understand why you wouldn't, if you work for a company and you start being their direct competitor while you're working for them, they might have an issue with that, right? So,
but is that something is that something you can do virtually, like that you can offer as an online, like maybe you work locally at a place, but you can offer it freelanced as an online thing, like, just kind of think of the different ways that you can spin it just to get started. So then you really have a good idea, like, this can actually work for me. I can structure this how I want. I can have the time freedom that I need, and, go on about my business. But there's definitely some pros and cons to think about having a 9-to-5 versus, working for yourself. And are you willing to, sacrifice? Is it worth losing what you get with having a, stable income at a position, stable quotation wise, because anything could happen at any time. But yeah, definitely writing out what those pros and those cons are. And if it's enough for you to pursue, then definitely start doing that now.
Yeah.
Build it up and then take that leap of faith when it's time. But yeah, I hope that this was helpful.
Yes, hopefully.
And I wish you nothing but the best.
Absolutely.
Good luck with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, do it.
Keep us updated.
Do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if anybody else has any, experience with this or any tips or suggestions for her, please put them in the comments. We can keep the conversation going. If you have any tips for her.
Absolutely. And if you have any other, while you're at it, if you have any Ask Gabe and Babes, hashtag Ask Gabe and Babe, email it to us at Let's Make Out Podcast at gmail.com. We love having these conversations, being able to, give our opinion on these, because they are just our opinion. Yeah, if you want to follow, keep up with podcasts, Let's Make Out Podcast on Gmail, Instagram, and Facebook, and then Let's Make Out Pod on Twitter. And if you're listening, you can definitely watch us on YouTube.
I think you said Gmail.
Oh, I did. Well, that was the Gmail. See, right?
Well,
YouTube.
Email,
Yeah.
YouTube.
So if you're listening, then you can watch us on YouTube. Yeah. If you're watching, then you can listen to us on wherever platform.
Listen to podcasts.
Yeah, rate and review us on wherever you're listening. And we would appreciate that, and we appreciate you.
We love you guys.
That's right. Deuces.
Bye guys. Cute.